My name is Michael Corey. I presided over the case that involved Justin Schneider. What far too many people didn't understand is that his conduct with respect to that victim in the state of Alaska was not considered a sexual assault because what he did not constitute sexual contact. Mr. Schneider ejaculated on the defendant. I absolutely did my job by following the law of the state of Alaska. One needs to understand that this was not an open sentencing. This was a plea bargain. This sentence was not my idea. I knew that this didn't feel right. I really felt like I was strapped to a locomotive going off a cliff. I had to follow the law. Mr. Schneider was sentenced to 2 years, the maximum sentence that he could receive for that offense. One of those years was suspended. The other year, he had effectively already served on ankle monitoring. Consequently, he walked out of the courtroom a free man, much to the chagrin of everyone, including myself. The majority of the voters in Alaska decided that I would not be retained for another term, and so I stepped away. If I had it to do all over again, my decision would be the same.
Okay, please welcome retired Superior Court Judge Michael Corey. Thank you so much for being here. You met Michael and Judge Cordell. Wendy Murphy is with us via satellite, and she'll be weighing in. Judge, you said that you wished that you could have done more, but that you couldn't.
Well, the law didn't allow it. It was a B felony. B felonies are punishable by 0 to 10 years. Mr. Schneider had no prior felonies, so he was presumptive 0 to 2 years. And without the state pursuing aggravators, there was no way to go above the 2 years.
So based on the nature of the offender and the offense, there's a cap to what the court is allowed to give. So you didn't have the option to give this person 10 years.
Exactly.
Now, also, in your defense, and people don't understand, what he did, he ejaculated on her, that is not considered a sex crime in Alaska.
It was not at the time.
That's called harassment.
That's correct. And he was charged. And that's what he was charged with.
It allowed for 2 years. 1 year was ankle monitor at home.
That's correct.
There was another year available that could be given. You suspended that year.
That's well, yes, I implemented a sentence that was the result of a plea bargain. This plea bargain was not my idea.
Okay, but wait a minute. This is where you lose me. You do have the right to reject the plea bargain. Don't tell me you don't, because you do.
Well, absolutely, and then it goes to the Court of Appeals and it gets reversed and it comes right back. What I'd like to know, if somebody disagrees with that, what would be the basis upon which to legitimately reject that plea bargain?
It is outrageous given the nature of the crime.
There's so much wrong with what Judge Corey is saying. And in a case like this, your job should have been to say, I'm horrified that the prosecution dropped some of the important charges here. I'm horrified that my hands are tied with no more than 2 years. And in order for me to do my job, which is to respect the integrity of this woman's life and the horrifying nature of this crime and the public's interest in making sure this doesn't happen again, I have to send a message. And all I have is 2 years maximum to send that message. I'm giving him 2 years, period. That's what you should have done, Judge Corey, and you didn't do it.
I understand the narrative that you're putting forward when you put it that way sounds horrible, but that comes from a person who just doesn't understand the situation.
If you felt that strongly about it, you could have rejected the plea bargain, correct?
No.
No, I'm asking, that's a question.
No, the answer is there was no legitimate basis upon which to reject that plea bargain.